welcome. This will be my review, spoiler-free, not really anything to spoil in the game anyway, but of the 1982 video game Dig Dug, the original, if I understand correctly. There's at least one sequel. The game is rated E for everyone, and other than the YouTube video recommendations I'm going to do shortly, so will this video be. And yeah, very fun little game. So I am gonna go over, I'm gonna name some YouTube videos that I very much recommend. So let's see, yeah, here we go. Major Archetype, Everything Transphobic, J.K. Rowling did in 2024. Jesse Gender After Dark, the Wachowski-produced Cured time loop movie. Sorry, the rest of the title isn't coming up for some reason. And Cat Black, The Truth About James Charles. Rebecca Watson, Skeptic. Hantavirus is not the next pandemic. And One Topic, Not the Trans Agenda, Trans Memes. So, this... Right, did I already mention I'm going off the version in the Atari 50 anniversary celebration. I believe there's at least one other, what's it called? One of these collections of emulated games that also has it. I have not played that one yet. Anyway, that is the one I am going off. And like the other versions, yeah, it's... Never mind. Yeah, basically, this is very much one of those arcade games that are very simple but pretty addictive. It's you are digging and you are supposed to crush the various enemies with these rocks, and in order to, like, if you dig right under a rock and then move out of the way, the rock will fall down, and you have to time it right. And a number of, there's at least one enemy that will literally move through solid ground. And yeah, you have to, maneuver into position and get it just right. And yeah, it's a very easy concept. It's easy to play, difficult to master. And it has that thing of, so apparently, according to IMDb trivia, if you reach the 256th screen, then you do reach a kill screen, similar to Pac-Man, the original. And yeah, other than that, you can kind of just keep going and, increase your high score. And yeah, it has this quite... Right, I guess I'll briefly note also, in addition to, you automatically dig if you are moving across solid ground. And at least some of the enemies will indeed try to catch up to you. They will move towards you, at least if you're close enough to them. And yeah, the camera is 100% a side view. And it is one of those games where when you don't have to play for terribly long to kind of get the gist of it, and at that point, continuing playing, yeah, it's for like high score, bragging rights, that sort of thing. And yeah, you can move in all four directions, and there is also a button for this. It's called a pump. It's yeah, I guess that is what it is, and you can use it to temporarily stun enemies, but you're going to want to use the rocks in order to take them out. And let's see, yeah, they do a good job on the enemy design. It's this thing of like they have a very distinct look, and they look, it is the kind of thing where, like, if a 7-year-old is playing this, they're going to think it looks cool and maybe a little scary, the enemies, I mean, but they're not going to get nightmares from it. And, a teenager will be like, I don't know, it's cute enough, kind of thing. It's not like aggressively, obnoxiously, corny. And yeah, the AI is good, for the obvious limitations, of course, but yeah. And yeah, I quite appreciate that it's essentially, I mean, once you're in a level, you do have to complete that level before proceeding, or level, screen, whatever. But you get to choose which order to approach enemies, and exactly how you're planning to attack them. And as you play more, you will perfect strategy and such. And yeah, I it's one of those, like, it definitely did remind me of Pac-Man in some ways, but here you really do have essentially complete freedom of movement, but so do the enemies. And they can absolutely surround you, corner you, if you're not careful. So yeah, like if you played Pac-Man and you're like, the one thing I dislike about it is, the freedom of movement thing, and not having any, like, I mean, in that one, technically, the attack is the let's say they're called power pellets, but yeah. Let's see. Other than that, yeah, so the graphics are, of course, quite simple, but there is a good use of color to make it pop. They only had so much to work with back then, and yeah, like it's a much brighter game than Pac-Man. And to be clear, this is not criticizing Pac-Man. I'm just making comparisons. I don't know that I've ever encountered a gamer who doesn't at least know Pac-Man. This is not the first time I personally encounter Dig Dug. I believe it's the first time I play it, but I'd say a decent chunk of the people I've encountered, they've never even heard of this game, So trying to compare it to something that people do know of. And yeah, good sound design. They have this, yeah, it's a little more cutesy. Once again, rated E for everyone compared to a number of other games, but you do still get, like, you can very clearly tell when something happened, like, other than the graphics. The audio makes that clear. The music is this jaunty little tune, and they have this delightful thing where it only plays when you move. So if you're standing completely still, there's just silence as far as music goes. And if you're moving at like regular speed, it's, playing normal speed. And if you're moving really fast, then it is, playing faster. I don't know. That's just a fun idea for, yeah. And yeah, I think they did a good job finding a balance between it being challenging and being fun. Like the first time you play it, you're not necessarily going to get terribly far, depending on things, but it's the kind of thing you quickly figure out if it's your kind of thing, but if it is, then you might spend a while just seeing how far you can actually get. And yeah, I won't give away about after, but certainly the first time you will get the chance to continue when you lose your lives. And yeah, did not run into any bugs or glitches. And yeah, they do a good job of, like, it is basically like, yeah, you're digging underground, and it looks like, it's one of those things, like, I wonder if the developers are fans of Jules Verne or something, because it is this fun thing of like, well, as long as you dig into the ground, I mean, obviously there's going to be something fantastical down there. And I don't know, I kind of appreciate that. A lot of games go for space if they want to go for, otherworldly, but I kind of appreciate this thing. I mean, I suppose I'm not 100% sure if it's supposed to be set on Earth, but the character certainly looks human, or humanoid at least. And yeah, I rate this 8 shovelfuls of high quality dirt as you are crushing memorable enemies with rocks out of 10.